Hello everyone and welcome back to Run It Up number 84. We are here today playing some 50-cent $1 no limit Texas Hold'em on ultimatepoker.com, playing against the one and only ElGuapo. Yes, that's right. We started out the week playing against ElGuapo heads up, and we're going to end the week playing heads up against ElGuapo as well, apparently. So hopefully you guys had a great little Christmas break. I had a good little time. It wasn't very Christmassy, but it was at least it felt like a very nice weekend. So at least there was that. I really did very little that was related to Christmas. I did go to I had a very nice breakfast at Bellagio with the one and only Husky Mudkips. Yes, that's right. YouTube extraordinaire with 1.5 million subscribers. No big deal. No big deal. But I had a nice little breakfast with him at Bellagio, and then just pretty much took Christmas Day almost entirely off. And yesterday I spent half a day, solid half a day off, and the other half of the day I spent working on another project, which you guys will find out more about. I would say January. You'll probably find out what that's all about. I know it's all mysterious. What's going on? You'll have to find out in January. I'm not going to fold here. We obviously could definitely have the best hand with a 9. So we're going to start with a call. And here on the turn, I also would guess that I will not be folding just yet. ElGuapo decides to check back. So now we have a decision between checking and betting. And I don't believe that he will call us with worse than a 9. I don't think he'll call us with like pocket 8s if he has them. So I think it's better to check and then make a decision. As give him the opportunity to bluff, and I would have probably leaned towards calling because there's not a ton of hands he could play that way. You could play an ace that way, and be cautious on the turn and then be aggressive on the river. I think that's a very reasonable thing that he could be doing, but I would have leaned towards calling. We have a pair. How are we supposed to fold pairs? We didn't get where we are today by folding pairs, fellas. That's just the truth. So we played a little bit against ElGuapo before, obviously, and he's good, aggressive. He's not too aggressive pre-flop, and he is definitely capable of being tricky from time to time. So I don't have any like crazy huge reads beyond that. Getting a 3-bet here with Jack-8 of clubs. I was experimenting the other video with a very 3-bet heavy style, and it seemed like it was working okay. Can't really know for sure because we didn't really play that long heads up. Gonna start here with a bet. I think $8 seems like a fine amount. If he contests this, we probably will just give up a lot of the time. Weird to see him raise. Should we get ourselves in trouble, boys? What do you have, ElGuapo? You got deuces? Come on. All right, let's see a turn card. All right. I don't know exactly how I'm planning on avoiding this cage, but I'm going to start by not folding. He could just be trying to put pressure on us as though we have 2 queens. If he checks back here, I'll definitely feel like we can win this pot. Actually, an 8 might even be the best hand right now, but I think I'm going to bet for straight up value, just like 28, 38, 32, something like that. Like as though we're betting for value, obviously. As though we have like ace queen, something like that. I don't really think there are too many hands that he should have that will call on this river. Like what you raise flop with ace jack, and now here you are and you don't bet turn. So I just think he was probably just trying to steal on the flop, and there's no stealing from us, ElGuapo. ElGuapo doesn't. He's trying to put us in the cage a little bit, but no, we are the one who cages, sir. In case you may have forgotten. So yeah, starting off the day right, a little bit of stealing defense from from Team Run It Up over here. That's gotta show him who the boss is. Nah, I mean. So I don't think there'll be any days off next week. I know we had 3 days off this week. I think I'm not planning on taking days off for New Year's or anything like that. Maybe just one, but I don't even think that's happening. We're running it up next week. We had I had more than enough break this week. It's actually almost break enough the fact that Ultimate Poker is pretty much off because it's more of a business and corporations take Christmas break off. Run It Up. We don't take breaks. We don't take breaks from Run It Up, That's it. When you're the true boss, you don't want to take breaks. There's too much to do. I can't take breaks. Anytime that I take even 4 hours off, I'm always just thinking about all the things that I'm not doing. It's very hard for me to really, truly unwind. There's just so much things that I think would be awesome to do. It's very, I would say very painful, but it's at least mildly uncomfortable to take too much time off. So I would have check called on the turn here with our king high, but ElGuapo didn't want to bet. So I would guess that he has a hand that's probably right around ace high, or it would be very weird for him to completely give up on a 6-3 deuce 6 board. Maybe I should have bet a little bit smaller, but I am not 100% sure on that. Like, you would think that when our opponent raises preflop and then sees a 6-3 deuce flop, it's pretty good flop for a preflop raiser because it's not going to connect too often with our hands, right? And even if it did, what do we have? 5-3 suited, so we have middle pair, bottom, we have a pair of threes, you know what I mean? So usually that's the kind of flop you would expect to see aggression on from a preflop raiser. And when you don't see aggression, you assume he has a hand, you tend to think he has a hand like ace high, something that has some showdown value. So for him to play the hand that way and then fold the river is a little weird to me. And he's done it now twice at least, once in the other video and then in this one as well. So I would actually guess that maybe he's incorporating a strategy that includes giving up more often because we're more sticky. That actually seems like a reasonable thing, but I think giving up on that board is just too it's too fancy. I think he should be aggressive on a 6-3 deuce board, I think, but I don't mind the adjustment if that is what he is doing. It's so hard to know in poker. People could be adjusting or they could just be not making the right decision. It's very hard to know for sure. I'm going to defend here with 2 7s. Could also re-raise, but don't really know our opponent too well. He does look familiar, but also looks familiar. 3 of a kind 7s. Yes, that's what I'm going with. Bink! So the plan here, we could, against a guy that I don't remember at all, and he's played with us before, but I honestly don't know the first thing about him. We could check raise or check call. Check raising is probably the worst option. We're going to be check calling here so often with like single pairs and like stuff like that. So I'd rather represent weakness by calling instead of, ooh, hello there. Welcome to the team, last 7 in the deck. I think we have all of the 7s. So I'm going to check, give him an opportunity to bet. If he checks back, it's going to be sad beans for us, obviously, because we have 4 of a kind. But no checking here, boys. No checking here. So we could be tricky. Tank, call, check river, check raise all in, go for the glory. Oh my god, let's do it. Let's go for the glory, boys. Alright, pretty safe river. Let's make a check and hope he bets. Let's give him an opportunity to bluff. Bet for value with like ace queen, over pairs. Any queen might even bet, like king queen might bet. If he has a hand that has like, there aren't really too many hands that would. Damn it. 2 pair, 7s and 7s. All right. Well, we might not have made an maximum amount of money on that hand, but we might have. He might have just had nothing. It's impossible to know. It's impossible to know whether we made the maximum. That's right. That's right. Just quads. So, it's impossible to know whether or not we made the most money possible there. If he had absolutely nothing and just decided not to bluff river, then we did make the most we could make. If he had a hand like queen jack that might have called a flop check raise, might have called a turn check raise, and, we might not have made the most money against that hand. But it's impossible to know, and I don't hate how we played it. We played our hand very much as though we just had a, pocket 8s or a 6, or, I think we represented our hand pretty strong, pretty weakly, and did the best we could. Didn't work out for us though. So I'm very excited for this weekend. UFC 168, the rematch between Anderson Silva and Chris Weidman, also co-main event Ronda Rousey against Miesha Tate. I'm actually really excited about both of those fights. I think that Chris Weidman is going to get it done. He's currently actually an underdog, and I think that's just like incorrect. If you look at the statistics, Chris Weidman is an incredible wrestler, and I think people don't understand just how good he is, because if you remember how much trouble that Anderson had with Chael, Chris actually lands takedowns at ooh, hi there. Hello, 5 in a row. Chris actually lands takedowns at a higher rate than Chael and a higher accuracy than Chael. Chris lands like 4.2 takedowns per 15 minutes, and Chael's number was lower than that, like in the 3s or something. I guess we bet here, as sad as this is, with our... We do have a 4 royal flush, so that's kind of neat. Ace of spades, dealer. Damn it. I don't think there's a lot. Maybe we should actually just check. Let him bluff. Maybe he has a hand that can bluff. I don't know. Let's see. Brutal. Brutal. Chop it up. Nobody loves the chop pot. Everyone loses. I disagree with EPT stream that everyone loves the chop pot. No. Disagree. Vote no. But yeah, so Weidman's takedowns are, ooh, this is a big re-raise from ElGuapo. ElGuapo is mad. You should be happy you just chopped the pot. I guess we just fold. And I guess I'll be min-raising now on my button, because if he's going to be raising this large, I'd like to give myself a better price. I guess we fold Jack 10. Hurts me, but alright. So yeah, Chris Weidman's grappling is insane. His takedown accuracy is crazy. He has the best takedown accuracy, and he has the best takedowns in the middleweight division for sure, if not the entire UFC. And in the last 5 fights, Anderson's absorbed, I believe it's like 2.3 or 2.4 strikes per minute, whereas the rest of his UFC average is like 1.8. So Anderson has absorbed more strikes lately than he has in the past, and Chris's grappling is so good that I really think that the combination of those things gives Chris he has 2 viable paths to win. Now, I think striking is probably not his best and most low variance path, but I think Chris will get it done in wrestling if he wants. Well, I think it's a high EV path, I guess I should say. So yeah, that's tomorrow. Also excited about Ronda Misha. I don't believe that Ronda is going to lose the fight. I should have min-raised this as we just went over. But, I just think Misha matches up so horribly it's such a horrible matchup for Misha in that, Misha's statistics lifetime, Misha's been hit, like I just read this yesterday, Misha's been hit 260 times and only struck herself like 133. So she's been outstruck like 2-1 a lifetime. It's crazy. I guess we fold this. I mean, this really hurts me, but okay, I guess we fold. Boy, 2 in a row folding. I'm very pained. This is why you should be min-raising, and then I could call much more comfortably. All right, I'll be min-raising the button next time. I'm promising it to you guys now. I won't let you guys down. I will min-raise the button. All of a sudden, very 3-betty game. Doc August shows up, and all of a sudden, everyone's putting on their 3-bet shoes. I don't know what this is. Oh, ElGuapo's sick of it. ElGuapo's sick of your shit, Doc August. I call. Whatever. $8? I don't give one hoot. Yeah, that's right. I call. Run the cards, dealer. So I just think that Ronda is such an insanely good grappler, and she's done so good in grappling over her last 6 fights or 5 fights or whatever it is that Fight Metric has data for, and she's done so well with that. And Misha just doesn't have the skill set, I think. Even if it was a straight up kickboxing match, I think Ronda would still be like a 3-1 favorite. Like they said in the Countdown show, Misha is training with Brian Caraway and Ronda is fighting Olympians and world class boxing boxers. So min-raise. Hey, we got it right. I don't know. I just feel like the 7-1 favorite that Ronda is installed in might actually even be too much credit for Misha. But we will see, I suppose. I'm very happy to bet here. I think $2.50 or $3 is both fine. I'm going to be lazy and bet $3. Make that extra 50 cents of value there. If our opponent check raises, I will roll my eyes and call. Let's be real. He's like, all right, I'll be real and just fold. All right, well, thanks. I was just saying, I would not have believed you. You saved yourself however many dollars you would have tried to burn there. So I, in addition to playing lots of League of Legends lately, I've actually been playing Path of Exile, which is like a free-to-play Diablo type of a game, and I've actually really been enjoying it. They did a really good job with it. I've really been enjoying my experience. It feels like how Diablo 3 should have been. So if you haven't played it yet, you can download it on Steam, and I enjoy going through the story once by myself. But I'd be happy to play with you guys if you want to play with me sometime in the future, but I don't know what my Steam name is or whatever. But if you guys are interested, let me know in the comments below and over on facebook.com/jcarpoker, and I'm sure we can make that happen. Queen Jack here in the big blind. We are almost definitely seeing a flop unless Eric with the eye patch decides to do something crazy here. Right, let's see a flop. Dealer. Pretty good one for us. Top per. Starting with a check seems like the thing to do. I don't believe I'll be check raising. I believe I'll be check calling. I don't think check raising accomplishes really very much, or at least not as much as check calling accomplishes. Pretty good turn card for us. Still plans to check call. Could lead, of course, as well, but I think check calling makes the most sense. Still beat a lot of draws, things like that. Against the check back, I'm a little sad. So, given that we didn't see the guy bluff before, we don't know if he even had a hand that was trying to bluff. It's hard to know for sure, but I think I would prefer to bet versus check here. If he shows up with a 10, he might call. He might call with a 9 every once in a while. We show up with missed clubs. We show up with 10s that are trying to bluff. We show up with like... maybe we should have checked. Maybe we should have checked. Given that he's tanking, if he tank raises, I'll be a sad bear. But, call. Pay me your $8. Thank you. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to me. $8 from you, sir. Add to the pile. Oh, pocket kings. Boy, we're just rocking and rolling here today. And we start off with a limp. Very weird. The game has been so aggressive, and now we start off with a limp. All right. $5 seems like a good size. Could make it $4.50 or something, but I think $5 is fine. All right. And we win $2. Ballin'! That's right. $2. Add to the pile. The Scrooge McDuck pile. That's right. Oh, we're just running hot as blazes today. It's our luck box took a couple days off and is now feeling great. So I'm gonna do something a little tricky here. I'm gonna make it $3.50 instead of $4. I'm trying to encourage one of these two gentlemen to hop in there with the re-raise. If they did, let me tell you, we would not be calling. We would be pulling out the hammer boys. We would be warming up the Toshiba and going to war here. Instead, the poster decides to call. Beautiful little flop for us. Could have the best hand with ace high, and if not, we're on our way. Against the $1 lead, I think I'm just going to take it as almost though it's a check and just bet or raise for value. I think it's typically pretty unlikely that a player like this is going to lead and then fold. So I'm fine with that though, because, you know, we have ace high and spades to boot. So at this point, now that our opponent has limp called and then bet called, if our opponent were to check here, I think I'm going to just check back. I don't presume that he is going to fold a better hand than ours now, but there are plenty of worse hands that I'm actually fine seeing a river. Like, let's say he has just like Jack 5 of spades. Let's see a river. I don't want to have that call. I don't want to bet the turn, you know what I mean? So we beat straight draws, we beat spades, and I don't think he's ever folding kings. So I'm very happy to check back here, and let's see if we just win with ace high. I believe we are a favorite to do so. That's right. Get out of here with your gut shots. You know? 10-9 offsuit? No. Not the best hand, I'm afraid. I don't know. I'm kind of a jerk today. 3 days off. I'm just like making fun of people a little bit. I got the needle. I don't actually have a needle. Hey, I wanted to show you guys something that I received not too long ago. Actually, I meant to get them before I started, and then I forgot. But I can maybe reach and get. I don't want to break it. I'll have to show you guys. I'll have to show you guys next week, I guess. All right. I'll show you guys next week. It's like right out of reach. It's like just hanging on the light right above my head, but I can't quite get there, so I can't quite show you guys. But next week I'll have to show you. But it's a Christmas-related run-it-up thing. That's all I can spoil for you. I actually was going to say this is an okay flop and then bet, but against two people, one of whom is relatively aggressive and the other one seems at least kind of sticky, and I'm not sure which is which, but they're both kind of in that same blend of like aggression and whatnot. I actually don't know if a bet here is going to get through. Like, I don't actually think that if either of them have, like, let's say we bet and ElGuapo folds and then Doc August has 2 7s, I don't know if he's folding 2 7s to us. At this point in our lives and reputations, like, I don't know if he'll fold a hand like that. And given that we don't have an ace, it's pretty likely that one of these 4 opponents has an ace, saw flop, and now is probably not going to fold. And even though we have a 3 flush and the 3 straight and the king high, I think we just actually check fold. As pained as I am to do that. Every once in a while, you gotta just let king high go. You know, you gotta just say it's not for me. This hand. It's not for it's not for me. I don't know what to say. You know, they just have to win. If we won every single hand, no one would ever play with us. It's true. It would be a quite a poor decision if they did. So yeah, there's that. So I am very excited for the next 12 months of Run Up Madness. I made a post on Facebook the other day, kind of recapping the crazy year for me. It's absolutely been insane, and something that I'm like super appreciative for. A lot of which comes, you know, I am grateful to you guys for allowing me to do a lot of the cool things that I've been able to do in the last year. I mean, if you went back a year ago and looked at what was going on in my life, I was just like living in New York. I had very little going on besides like I was playing poker, I was a UFC fan, and I enjoyed making videos. And now here I am a year later, and I'm like working with the UFC, have a great deal with Ultimate Poker. I'm learning so much from the guys over there. I've got some amazing like business things going on that are both great in terms of like educating me and in terms of just like straight up good value spots, I believe. Gonna re-raise here for good old value as well. And you know, the Run It Up has become something that I truly love doing, and interacting with you guys has been great. And there are so many cool branches of that have allowed me, you know, in doing these shows, I've got much better at casting, obviously, and I think that's going to allow me to take other opportunities with both the UFC and other things. So, oh yeah, well, am I a little worried? I'm a little worried, but you know, 12 to win 40, that's a deal I cannot pass up on. Let's see a flop dealer. Well, it's probably going to be just good enough for him to get our money if he has us beat. Am I concerned? Absolutely concerned, but there's $50 in the pot. He only has 90. And he could definitely have aces or kings for sure. He could have aces or kings, like 100% he could have us beat here. But, I mean, could we call? I guess we could, but I think we should just shove, right? Man, he could be so tight that this is just giving away money, but we just don't know. And I think our hand is just too good to do anything. We could check call and then... this could be sad. Oh, nice. We're in the lead, boys. All right. That's right. 3 of a kind queens. That's right. Trying to re-raise us with Jack 10 of spades. This guy. The parrot probably told him to do it, though. You can't blame this guy. Whatever, Jay Carver. Nice hand. Thank you. Thank you. And you were worried he had aces or kings. Get out of here, you little nit. You know? Don't be so pessimistic. Put him on the Jack 10 and then run the cards, dealer. That's right. That is right. This is actually the... Oh, I want to finish my last thought. But, you know, I truly do appreciate that you guys have, like, supported me to the point where I've been able to do so many cool things. And that's right. ElGuapo says chalk one up for the run-up team. That's right. Put it in the bankroll, boys. Put it in the vault. That's right. Lock it up. Over 2K, I think. No. Close. Very close. We're, like, $6 away from being over 2K. But yeah, you guys have allowed me to do so many amazing things. Like I met Chael, and I mean, there are so many things that have stemmed from YouTube and the videos, and you guys supporting me in those videos is what's allowed that to happen. And I'm really excited to see what's going to happen in 2014. There'll be so many cool things that I can't wait to do with you guys. There are so many things that are in the blender that are coming, that are being worked on, that I can't wait to share with you guys. And I want to specifically point out the one particularly awesome thing that I didn't mention in the Facebook post because it just didn't really fit in how that was being written. But you know, but I wanted to say that of all the cool things that I've got to do with the UFC and everything else, when I was a kid, I loved Star Wars and the universe that Star Wars was set in. And I loved R.A. Salvatore, and there were so many books and the universes that these people would create and live in and create these characters and stories in. And as a kid, I loved it. I read so much. I just loved those sorts of like fantasy universes. And to kind of create this like alternate universe with the sheriff and this amazing art that has now come out, you know, existed, and wait till you guys see what I have in store for that. To have an excuse where I have this platform and this canvas to turn these ideas into reality and to have you guys react as positively as you've reacted. It's so awesome, man. It's so awesome. I just can't even like repress that. Like, it's such a narrow aspect of everything that's going on right now, but it's one that it means a lot that I get to do things like that. It's so cool that, like I said to my friend Will, the artist, even if it was just a thing that him and I enjoyed, I would still do it because I'm enjoying it that much. But the fact that there are so many other people, so many of you guys who love it as well, it's beyond cool. It's so awesome. Also awesome is that we have a straight and the flush draw. That's right. He'll never see the old 6 ball coming. That's all I know. So I don't think we could check raise. Actually, it's a thing. He will fold better than 10 high, but I actually think we should just call. Let's see a river card dealer. Deuce actually might allow us to win this hand because we could very reasonably have diamonds, and he could very easily have something that isn't even a pair and then just fold. I don't think this is a super high yield bet because I think that this will just not work very often when he has like a queen or better. But I think it will work just barely often enough that this will be okay for us. We can very easily have diamonds and just have check called, be defended pre, check called. Uh-oh, he's raising us, I think. I got a cage for you. All right, you got it. Damn it. Maybe we should have check raised turn. Actually, we would have gotten more trouble if we check raised turn because river would have been a diamond, then we would have bluffed for sure. And damn it. Good, nice hand. We're even. Maybe. Maybe we're even if you bluff me. We bluffed him before at the jack 8, but maybe we should have just check raised. I don't know. Hey, a little 2-per. All right, 1 1/4. 1 1/4, ElGuapo. All right. Well, that would qualify as the worst turn card in the deck, I think. Check. I guess we check and call. Certainly can't fold. A 9 alone is probably fine. We beat all the straight draws. We beat all the 7s. We beat all that nonsense. We beat even less now. At least it wasn't a 10 of clubs. I guess that would be a worse card. 9? 9 good? Yeah. Yeah. Can't win them all, ElGuapo. We just went over this. Weren't paying attention. Bitch. Fold, I guess, against these two guys. With 8-4. I guess we just fold. So yeah. I forget what I was gonna tangent off to before I went and recapped the year again. But yeah, I'm really excited for next year. There are going to be so many cool things with Ultimate Poker and the UFC. So many cool things for you guys that we'll be able to do. It's awesome. The things that I'm hearing, can't wait to share with you guys. It's going to be great. We're finally expanding the operation. It'll be officially a 2-man operation as of the new year, which is very nice. One of my best friends, and I met my friend Andre through StarCraft years ago, and he's like a brilliant genius, logical wizard, and we got along from day one because we both look at issues very similarly. And he's so hardworking. He gets casting and video making and gaming and poker, and to have someone like that who understood the vision of Run It Up, couldn't be more excited to get on board and help us out. I'm really excited to have someone that I can just be like, hey, go do all of this. So I'm really excited to have him start and have someone else that I can kind of lean on for so much. So we really outgrew the one-person operation months ago, and I'm finally excited that we have someone else here that can help me out, handle a lot of the run it up, growing pain type of work as we grow and expand to we're a legion, You guys know the Legion, You guys know. We needed the expansion, Legion, you can't just run a Legion on your own. That's crazy. That's like a mob, flash mob or something. It's not a Legion, whatever it is. That's all I know. That's right. That's all I know. Pretty nice little start so far, up $160. Feel pretty good about this table as well. No one here is really too scary. I think actually I actually don't love our seat, but it's actually fine. We have a good seat for calling and not really a great seat for raising. The reason I say that is because the two players on our left are aggressive and probably the best two players in the game. And it doesn't seem like these two, I mean, I don't know anything about either of them, to be honest, but my inclination is that those two are better than those two. I mean, if I had to pick two players that I'd like to stake in this game, I would take those two over those two for sure. So it's worse for us to be raising because those two are so aggressive. However, we get some really opportunities to call against these two guys, which is kind of sweet as well. I won't fold an ace for $2. Sure. Let's see a flop dollar. Ace high could definitely still be the best hand. I actually might do something devious here against Doc August. I guess my plans will change now that our friend over there has decided to bet. All right. I fold. I yield. Let's see how Doc August feels about this. 4.30. $4.30. I'm all in. Okay. Oh. All right. Sure. Well, fortunately for the ace and the queen, doesn't look like he's going to get it done today. I mean, you could definitely have the best hand with ace high. I suspected we had the best hand with ace high, but I think I'd rather see him just check raise all in instead of just bet call all in. That seems like a less high yield play because you check, give him a chance to bluff. Maybe he bets with his complete air, and then you check raise all in, and then he goes, "Damn it, maybe I should have checked." And then you win a decent sized pot. When you bet, you pretty much, if he has nothing, he's probably going to be like, "I guess I just fold." And if that's what he does, and then instead of doing that, he decides to raise, don't love the chances of your ace and the queen. Just saying. Could be fine against some opponents, but I would guess that, we know more about Doc August than this guy does, I would guess, but don't love that. Don't love that play. Oh, yeah. Definitely not folding here. We have king high, backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw, and king high. No way I'm folding this. We could be beat by an ace, obviously, but you can't have too many good aces because they just called preflop, so I've clicked call. Let's see if Ultimate Poker wants to register that decision. Come on, Internet. Come on, Internet. I'm rooting for you. Connect. Fuck. I don't know if he just escaped the cage or what. But, all right. Well, I'm trying to be back. I'm trying to be back. And for some reason, it is not cooperating. Damn it. Doc August is like, nice bluff. Yeah. You got an assist. You got an assist from the Internet there, sir. The Internet assisted in your winning there with your silly little check raise bluff. Like I'd ever fold king eye. Ever. Never. No way. Oh, maybe everyone's having an issue. It's possible. Possible that there's some server issue because I still can't click I'm back. I would love to play more, but looks like my chat isn't working either. All right, hold on one sec. We'll be back in a minute. All right, so we are back. A little bit of a server crash there. No big deal, though. Back in it on the hunt. So we started what we left off with, and I actually just lost a hand against ElGuapo. He raised. I re-raised with ace-jack. Came king 8. I check called, or I bet flop, and then in turn I check folded on a brick. And I was not really sure what to do, but I think it was all right. So here we are, right where we left off, pretty much. Slightly different lineup, though. Eric is the guy who was there, now is here, and then I haven't seen these two guys yet. So we'll play for another 20 minutes or so, probably something like that. It's kind of weird to do basically like a whole different session, but I didn't want to stop 30 minutes. You guys are jonesing, it's been, you guys had to wait for Christmas, it's been running up withdrawals. I can't, 30 minutes. Remember the old days when 30 minutes was like a super long video? Remember when videos used to be like 12 minutes long and everyone was like, we need longer videos, come on. And I was like, 12 minutes, this is a long video. And then we did 20 minutes and now we do like 4-hour videos. And everyone else is still like, you could make it 5 hours, Jay Carver. I mean, if you really liked us, you'd make it 5-hour videos. I don't know what to say. I can't. I can't do that. I'm sorry. I do my best here, but I can't do 5-hour videos 6 days a week or whatever it is you crazy people ask me for. Not yet. If we can build the Legion to to 20,000 subscribers. 20,000 subscribers. I will do a week of hour-long videos. I will do seven days of 20,000 subscribers. Happily. If that's what I have to do, if you guys can make Run It Up big enough that I can just do Run It Up pretty much all the time, which is actually pretty close to what I'm doing already. But if we could do it, if we could hit like subscriber goals, I would definitely in exchange make these videos longer. I'll bribe. I'll work for subscribers. That's right. Whatever you guys want, no big deal. I'll whore myself out for subscribers any day of the week. King and 10 here in the big blind. Oh yeah, let's see a flop against Eric with the parrot over there. He's got one eye and a parrot. I like our chances. Let's see a flop dealer. Beautiful little flop for us with the old King and 10. Gonna start here with a check. I could actually have led against this guy. I kind of feel like leading is kind of cool. This guy might just freak out and, might just call down super light. All sorts of things which are good for us with top pair. So we could check raise or check call. I actually think check calling is probably slightly better, but I wouldn't hate check raising either. We could bet, but I again think checking is probably a little bit better. Given that we saw him get aggressive for no real reason with Jack 10, I'm hoping that he gets real aggressive for no real reason with whatever it is he has here. Not that I want him to see him get like super, super aggressive, but, a little aggression would have been fine. Great river for us. Might encourage him to bluff if he has nothing. So if he has a hand like 5-7 that was giving up, maybe that will encourage him to bluff. If he checks back very quickly with a hand that we beat, well, we know that he is not the type to, bluff at cards. So, there's a reasonable possibility that he had a 6 or a 9, which doesn't really want to bet anyway, even on an ace river. But let's say he had a hand like this is actually a spot where it would be really useful to see what he didn't bet, and obviously we can't do that in Ultimate Poker as of right now. But I think that that's a spot where if our opponent had a hand like 5-7 offsuit, something that turned a gut shot and didn't bet, and then rivered an ace and didn't try to bluff, I think that it would be very useful information in terms of determining his tendencies in future situations, right? So, or if he had a hand like 2 6s, a 6, whatever the lowest pair was, or 2 5s, some under pair, then that would be a very reasonable thing to check back because you do actually win sometimes against no pair hands, and better doesn't always fold. So it's tough to say because we didn't see his hand, but my guess is that he didn't try bluffing post-flop in that spot, more likely than not. So in the future, in spots like, maybe not that exact spot, but maybe there are spots that are similar to it, in which case I would just bet instead of be the one that's checking. So I'm super happy about calling here. Oh my god, let's run the cards. Ace-5 puppy dog feet, please. This is a great spot. In position against the guy with the parrot. Come on. All right, we're on our way. Back to our flush draw, back to our straight draw, and bottom pair, and an overcard if we're really being optimistic. Checks to us. That's kind of interesting. What to do? I actually think we're going to start with a bet because I think people will fold better hands than 5s. Pocket 7s might just fold, pocket 9s, maybe even as good as like jacks, maybe once in a miracle might fold. If he check raises, I would just fold, obviously, but that's a pretty good turn card for us. Given that we could have Jack 10 and that now we're crushingly ahead. Oh, man. I don't know. He could just have aces and not fold. That's also possible. I actually think... we almost for sure don't have the best hand, but I'm not so sure how bluffing will work for us here. All right, let's check back. This is a really good river card for us now because, clearly we can try to bluff this one if our opponent checks. If he just slams it, obviously we just fold. Is there some chance that we could min-raise all in and he would just fold whatever it is he has? Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a chance it could work. It would be the heroic bluff of the season. But I think we just fold. We're a club away from having a flush, Where's the 9 of clubs turn card? Yeah, I assume he just has a hand that's like... I actually don't really know what he's doing, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know what hand makes a lot of sense because there really aren't any, but maybe he has like 2 10s exactly. That would make sense, 2 10s, check calls, turns 9, check, river jack. I have a straight, I bet. All right, I buy it. I can believe that. I think that if we were deeper, I could have done something that was more devious. I didn't just want to shove the turn. I just didn't feel like he was folding. often enough. Like, and when he does call, we're in such bad shape. We're in such bad shape. I just didn't think, like, he has to fold on the turn. We're risking 70 to win 70, all right, almost exactly. And we have probably about like 12% when called. We need a 5 or an ace. You know, sometimes an ace, sometimes not even an ace. Sometimes he just has ace-king and just is playing it more conservatively, which is a reasonable way to play. If he's a little bit more of a conservative player, he could definitely play ace-king that way and then not fold. And then we just need to hit a 5 to stay alive. As it were. So I mean, I don't know. I like their turn chances, but if we had like $200 on the turn, oh my god, it would have been great. I would have bet turn and then probably bet river. But with $70, I feel like he is very close to just say F it all to heck and just put it in there with even a hand like 2 jacks. He's got a gut shot, you know, so maybe that would be enough for him to stick around. I don't know for sure. And but I like how we played our hand, I think. I mean, all we did is bet flop to try to get a hand like 2 9s to fold, which makes a lot of sense. And pre-flop obviously also is fine. So I think I like how he played our hand, and he could have played his hand well, or at least reasonably. It's possible. I just don't know for sure. My guess is that if I knew his hand, I would have something to say about it. Shocker. Tell me more. Jay Carver has something to say about a thing. Yes, that's right. It happens. Believe it or not. Oh yeah, very happily defending here with the old queen and 7 of hearts. Let's see some red cards, dealer. Make it happen. All right, 1 red card and also a purr. This is okay. I'll take that deal. If it checks around, I will be betting on turns. If somebody bets, oh yeah, we're calling and seeing a turn card. All right, well, that is a bad turn card, but I guess it's not the worst. I will bet and see how this goes from there. ElGuapo folding is probably the tougher of the two to get to fold, in my opinion. So I actually think that there's a chance we have the best hand, but there's probably a higher chance that we do not. So I'm going to bet and hopefully get him to fold a hand like ace-3 or like king-10. I don't think that's particularly likely, but I think it's likely enough that we'll show a profit. Looks like we're probably not winning this hand. All right. Well, I would have felt really bad if I checked and he showed down king jack. So I had to at least try. You know, I had to try. I don't think that it's necessarily super likely. By the way, I would say that hand serves as evidence that he was probably not folding on the other board. At least slightly more likely not to be folding on the other board, the one where we had the ace-5. But I like how we played it. I think we played it very reasonably. That's how we would have played 2 pair. That's how I would have played a straight. You know, do I think if he had shown me king jack, I would have said the chances of him folding were like 70%. That's still 30% of the time I think he wouldn't fold king jack there. But I like mixing plays like that into our arsenal. I think they work out pretty well, all in all. Off to the flop against ElGuapo. A little bit of a loose open from us, but, you know, how bad could it be? I have 2 cards, in case you didn't notice. $4 will probably get it done often enough. Let's see a pretty turn card. That's definitely a pretty turn card. So I think we're going to bet here twice. He'll fold pocket pairs. He might even fold hands like 7s, stuff like that. And if he does call, we're on that heart draws. Let's just river the old heartaroo, I suppose. All right, so question is, does he call us with worse or does he fold better? He never folds better. So I think the better option is to check and let him have an opportunity to bluff if he has a hand like black ace-king. Ooh. Ace-king is not what I meant anyway. I meant like ace-jack. Like a hand like black ace-jack, which probably can't win. I was going to give an opportunity to bluff, but I guess there's also a secret little valley narrow path of also we check with our flush and he checks back better flushes sometimes. I guess that's a thing. Actually, given what we know about ElGuapo, because remember there was a hand we played on Monday where the board was, the flush got there on the river and it was heads up or 3-handed. The flush got there on the river and he had ace-jack and it was like ace-7-7, I don't know exactly the order of the cards, but it was like ace-7-7, 3 jack, and a club draw got there on river or something, and he checked back ace-jack. So I'm not surprised to see him check back with jack-10 in this spot. It doesn't seem like he likes these, like, he doesn't seem, it's a very normal it's not like a crazy leak or anything, but it seems like he is at least a little hesitant to go for those thin value spots. So, I mean, now that I've said this, now who knows what he'll do, but my experience would be that in that spot, he's usually either bluffing or he's really got it, and it does really hard to really have it in that spot. How many king of hearts do you have there? Or, how many queen of, you have to have ace queen, ace king, how many hands do you show up with there with the single king or single queen of hearts? Not a lot. So I would have considered, I would not have folded, I think, had he bet that river, given what we know about him, that he in that spot would have to either be really strong or really weak. And I can beat all the really weak stuff, and I don't think he has too much of the really strong stuff. Does that make sense? I actually think that's like pretty key poker concept there, generally speaking, that knowing our opponent as well as we do, we know that we have seen him in other spots not necessarily go for thin value, and so if he has a hand like ace 10 with a 10 of hearts, not 100% sure that he would bet that there. He might just check that back. So knowing that means that if he does bet on the river, he's either got something that's better than the 10 of hearts, of which there are not too many hands that make a lot of sense, or that he is bluffing, which we beat. So that's pretty cool. Now, let's take this one level further, if you can join me down the rabbit hole for just a moment. Let's say ElGuapo watches these videos and is like, oh, I see, there's maybe something I could be doing better here. Well, what should ElGuapo do? Well, it depends on your opponent, what your opponent is calling with, how they perceive you, what your risk management strategy is. There's lots of ingredients that go in the cauldron of thinking here, right? But I think that what I would tell Mr. Guapo is you have to think like, what are the more likely hands my opponent is showing up with here? How has my opponent, reconstruct the hand and feel out the blend of hands he shows up with in the spot on the river, right? And say, okay, are there more hands that are better than mine or worse than mine? And where does my hand fall on that spectrum? And it's really just a matter of like, your experience will allow you to kind of like adjust and tweak and learn and figure out what exactly that means, like how exactly you can determine where the point of too thin and, where there's clear value. So it's I don't know if that was super helpful for ElGuapo if he's watching this, but I think it makes sense. You got to kind of just like analyze the situation, figure out where your opponent is kind of at strength-wise more often than not, and then be like, all right, well, because thin value betting is something that makes you much tougher to play against, especially if you're playing somebody heads up or, short-handed. Like the guy who can get value out of his third pair is going to make more money than the guy who just checks back and makes no money, right? So, okay. Raising it up here with 4-3 of spades. Very close to my favorite hand. Not quite, though. Let's see if Lottie will allow it. All right. Well, gonna start with the bet. See what happens from there. I think 5 is probably fine. Feel like it will probably get the job done, or it won't. Probably giving up on a lot of turn cards. Turn card has to be like a deuce or a 5 or a spade for me to continue. Maybe even a 3 or a 4, but ElGuapo says, you got this one, kid. Thanks, Mr. Guapo. All right, probably gonna play one more orbit and then we'll call it a run it up video. We've had 2 sessions built into one. Poker learnings, lots of laughs. One bink ball, not quite. One little bink ball. It was a fun little video. We did 2 run ups this week. They were both pretty solid, I actually think. Well, I thought last week's were better than Monday's, but that's a different story. That's neither here nor there. Not getting into that rating conversation again. Jack 5 of blue, certainly not folding this to single raise. Oh yeah. Good, nice little raise there, Dr. Sauce. 2 1/4. Chris Weidman. My Chris Weidman's dad impression does that voice very well. The last UFC at the weigh-ins, last time Chris and Anderson fought in July, I was standing around the floor stage of the weigh-ins behind the security access gate, and Chris Weidman's dad was outside of the gate, and the true story, the full story, if I'm going to tell this much, I'm going to tell the full story. So I'm standing with some Ultimate Poker contest contenders who are trying to win a Harley Davidson, actually, back in July. These days, you guys would be all over that, but back then it was Ultimate Poker stuff, so just a set. No big deal, huh? So I'm standing behind the wall off thing, and this guy shows up and is like, I need to get backstage. I'm here to corner my son. Get out of my way. And security is like, sorry, you just can't. You can't go this way. There's not, people don't go in. And I'm like, Mr. Weidman? And he's like, yeah, I'm Chris's dad. And I'm just like, and the security guard goes, oh, maybe this fella can help you, pointing to me. And meanwhile, I can do absolutely nothing. I'm just wearing a badge because, I'm just wearing a badge, but can do ultimately really near nothing. And, but he gives them to me, and all of a sudden, Chris Weidman's dad is like, I'm like, oh, hey, Jason, nice to meet you. And he's like, Charlie, nice to meet you. And I'm like, all right, cool. So we talk for a moment. We're Long Island cousins, kind of, sort of. And so I bring him backstage and show him off to whoever else back there can actually help him, and that was it. So without me, maybe Chris Weidman doesn't beat Anderson Silva. Maybe his dad doesn't get backstage, and Anderson, menaces Chris, and Chris is scared and doesn't show up to fight. Who knows? I might have changed history with that. It's possible. You can't say it's 0%. It's true. All right. Well, with that little story, 8-6 offsuit, I guess, is going into the muck. I could have defended. I could have called with this, to be honest. The knit Jay Carver took over for a second and decided to fold here. Let's see if we've been punished. Oh, yeah. Huge punished. Oh, my God. I knew I shouldn't have folded. So the worst thing, well, depending on which side you're on, the worst thing a poker room ever did was let you see your mucked hole cards. Damn it. Why did I fold? What a mistake. Knit bitch Jay Carver won this one. Oh, yeah. 2 3s. Let's get in there. I don't actually think that there's like a super critical raise size here. Those two guys are short. The guy who was in that spot is no longer there. Eric doesn't seem to be nearly as aggressive as the last guy. And even if he is aggressive, this is just a great spot for us. We're on that 3 fishing expedition. Let's see 3, dealer. If you know what I mean. Oh my God, Jay Carver, that was awful. I don't know what to say. It seemed too perfect. How could I not? Maybe I thought the dealer would like it and give us a 3 for our witty pun. It definitely wasn't witty. All right, quiet down over there. All right. I think we've just about had enough here. You can tell when the end of the video is near, I think, when we start having conversations with a fake viewer voice. The nerd rage voice comes to life. Let's see if we can do a little bit of healing with the old ace and the 3 of spades. One more for the road. $1.50 goes into the bank. All right, let's do some math, kids. Let's break out the old abacus. So we started today with 18, 13, 14, and managed to win 83.58, taking us right up to 1896.72. That's right. We ran it up. That's what we did. We started with less, ended with more. We ran it up. That's right. That's what happened. So, thanks so much for hanging out. As always, guys, sometime I will be doing a late night poker lab. I know I had said that I was doing one this week, but it just didn't work out. I decided to disconnect from the internet, so it just didn't work out. So, if you've messaged me or anything else, I haven't even read it, so I'm going to try my best to get back to as many of you as I can reasonably get back to over the course of the next few days. So, don't forget, like the video if you enjoyed the video. That's how I know you liked the video. Makes sense to me. And leave your comments in the comments section below, and I will see you guys back for more very soon. I'll be probably tweeting or Facebooking updates about the fight tomorrow if you're interested about that. So facebook.com/jcarverpoker, twitter.com/Jason Somerville, and I will see you guys back for more Run It Up very soon. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Peace.